Hello, my name is Leo and welcome to another reading of the Elder Scrolls. Today we're going to be reading, it's really hard to say that word, I probably should have practiced this before I started, Chimarvamidium, Ancient Tales of the Dwemer, Part 6, by Morrowind. Okay. After many battles, it was clear who would win the war. The Chimer had great skills in magic and bladery. But against the armoured battalions of the Dwemer, clad in the finest shielding, wrought by Jago, there was little hope for their winning. In the interests of keeping some measure of peace in the land, Stoven the warlord agreed to a truce with the Crathril Bareth the Beast. In exchange for the disputed lands, Sothrin gave Bareth a mighty golem, which would protect the Chimer's territory from the incursions of the northern barbarians. Bareth was delighted with his gift and brought it back to his camp. Oh god, is this a Trojan horse thing? Could be. Where all his warriors gaped in awe at it. It sparkled gold in hue. It resembled a Dwemer cavalier with a proud aspect. To test its strength, they placed the golem in the center of an arena and flung magical bolts of lightning at it. Its agility was such that few of the bolts struck it. It had the wherewithal to pivot on its hips to avoid the brunt of the attacks without losing its balance. Feet firmly planted on the ground. A volt of fireballs followed, which the golem ably dodged, bending its knees and its legs to spin around the blasts. The few times it was struck, it made certain to be hit on the chest and waist, the strongest parts of its body. The troops cheered at the sight of such an agile and powerful creation. With it leading the defense, the barbarians of Skyrim would never again successfully raid their villages. They named it Chimarvamidium, the hope of the Chimer. That's why it's called that. Bareth has the golem. Has the golem? What? Is that supposed to be a quotation mark? No, that's a typo. It should be had. Bareth had the golem brought to his chambers with all his house thanes. There they tested Chimarvamidium further, its strength, its speed, its resiliency. They could find no flaw in its design. Imagine when the naked barbarians first meet this on one of their raids, laughed one of the house thanes. It is only unfortunate that it resembles a Dwemer instead of one of our own, mused Crathril Bareth. It is revolting to think that they will have a greater respect for our other enemies than us. I think we should never have accepted the peace terms that we did, said another, one of the most aggressive of the house thanes. Is it too late to surprise the warlord Sloven with an attack? It is never too late to attack, said Bareth. But what of his great armoured warriors? I understand, said Bareth's spymaster. Wait, I understand, said Bareth's spymaster, that his soldiers always wake at dawn. If we strike an hour before, we can catch them defenceless before they've had a chance to bathe, let alone don their armour. If we catch their armour, Jagno. Oh, the spymaster's name is Jagno. Yes? Not sure. If we catch their armour, Jagno, then we too would know the secrets of blacksmithery, said Bareth. Let it be done. We attack tomorrow, an hour before dawn. This has got to backfire so terribly on them. It's obvious. So it was settled. The Chima army marched at night and swarmed into the Dwemer camp. They were relying on Chimarvamidium to lead the first wave, but it malfunctioned and began, of course, attacking the Chima's own troops. Added to that, the Dwemer were fully armoured, well rested and eager for battle. The surprise was turned, and most of the high-ranking Chima, including Grethel, Barath the Beast, were captured. Though they were too proud to ask, Sothred explained to them that they had been warned of their attack by a calling by one of his men. Ah. What man of yours is in our camp? Sneered Barath. Didendidum, standing erect by the side. Aye, there's people inside of it. Yes? Hang on, hold on. Standing erect by the side of the capture, removed its head. Within its metal body was Dagno, the armourer. A Dwemer child of 8 can create a golem, he explained, but only a great warrior and armourer can pretend to be one. It was a Trojan horse, you're right. And that's why you heard the whole story. It was a spy. Ooh. Classic. Publisher's note. This is one of the few tales in this collection which can actually be traced to the Dwemer. Yeah, this is the actual real one. Yes, it is. The wording of the story is quite different from other versions in Algemes, but the essence is the same. Chimarvamidium may be the Dwemer. Oh God, you can do it. No, I can't. Nismasterdaz. This word occurs several times in plans of Dwemer armor and amiculae. But its meaning is not known. It is almost certainly not hope of the Chima, however. The Dwemer were probably the first to use heavy armors. It is important to note how a man dressed in armor could fool many of the Chima in this story. Also note how the Chima warriors react. When this story was first told, armor that covered the whole body must have still been uncommon and new, whereas even then, Dwemer creations like golems and centurions were well known. In a rare scholarly moment, Morrobar's soul leaves a few pieces of the original story intact, such as parts of the original line in Algemes. A Dwemer of 8 can create a golem, but an 8 of Dwemer can become one. Right, let me read the actual story again. A Dwemer child of 8 can grant but only a true one. That's not the same. That's not the same at all. A Dwemer of 8 could create a golem, but an 8 of Dwemer. I think they're trying to say that 8 Dwemer can pretend to be one. Sure. Another aspect of this legend that scholars like myself find interesting is the mention of the calling. In this legend, and in others, there is a suggestion that the Dwemer race as a whole had some sort of silent and magical communication. There are records of the Sigic order which suggest that they too share the secret. Whatever the case, there are no documented spells of the calling. Except for recall, I guess. Not something. The Cyrodiil historian, Borgodius Malia, first proposed this as a solution to the disappearance of the Dwemer. He theorized that in First Era 668, the Dwemer enclaves were called together by one of their powerful philosopher-sorceresses, Kaganek, in some documents, to embark on a great journey, one of such sublime profundity that they abandoned all their cities and lands to join their quest to foreign climes as an entire culture. No, didn't they zero sum because they found out the truth that this world is just a game? It's just a video game. And, they just said, oh, well, fuck this life. Because they were proponents of, science and technology and didn't believe in gods and whatever. And it's basically fucked up their entire understanding of the world. And they're like, well, fuck this! And they all just disappeared. It's unclear. It's interesting to note that for the longest time, I had no idea what happened to the Dwemer. Because in Skyrim, it's all this weird mystery. But in this game, they really do explain it. I mean, they give you theories, yes. They don't actually explain it, because no one actually knows what happened, but... yeah. Anyway, that was Chimarvamidium, Ancient Tales of the Dwemer, Part 6, by Morrowind. Next time, we'll probably read the other Elder Scrolls Online story from the wiki. But for now, my name is Lou, and I'll see you next time.